Uh, Good morning, students. I am Professor Ramesh GB from Electrical Department. So today I am here to give brief introduction about the course Electrical Energy Conservation and Auditing. The course code is 21EE OE 731. So this course can be selected uh, from any of the branches. The student from any of the branch except electrical engineering. Okay. So so what is electrical? What are the prerequisites required for this particular course? Basic electrical engineering. Okay, so if you want to conserve energy or if you want to do energy auditing, electrical energy auditing, you should be knowing the basic terms like voltage, current, power, energy, and energy bill calculation. At least the basic terms and basics of electrical engineering must be known to a person who is going to read this subject or study this subject. And also the basics of power systems. Okay, the basics of power systems are like so you should be knowing about generation, transmission, and distribution, how energy is getting generated and how it is transmitted over a long distance, and at least at the end how it is getting distributed to the loads, electrical loads. This part is very important. Distribution part, here we are concentrating on distribution part. You should be knowing the basics of distribution system structure and how the energy is getting distributed. That is to be required here for studying this subject. And also the basics of electrical machines like transformer and induction motor, especially the basics of this, the basic operation and of electrical machines of transformer as well as induction motor, because induction motor and transformers are being used in most of the industries. These are the main electrical equipments. They are being consumed most of the electrical energy. That is why you should be knowing about electrical transformer and induction motors. And also one more aspect is power factor. So that is comes again in basic electrical engineering, or if you go through the basics of power system. So the power factor is also one of the important factor will be considered here. Okay, so at least you should be knowing the basics of these things if you want to learn this subject. And let us come to the title of the course, that is energy conservation and auditing. Especially here we are concentrating on electrical energy. Okay, so what is the importance of energy conservation, why we have to study this subject? Okay, so here so by conserving the electrical energy, we can reduce the cost of consumption of energy. Okay, so by reducing we can reduce the cost of consumption of energy. There is a saying in electrical engineering that okay, if you consume 1 unit of energy at distribution center or your load side, okay, it is equal to 2 units of energy generation. Okay, so again it implies that you can reduce the generation cost also. If you reduce 1 unit of energy consumption, again directly it will be related to the generation, so that we can reduce the generation cost also. Reducing the use of natural resources of energy like fossil fuels. Okay, most of our power generating stations are depending on coal as a source. Okay, most of our power stations are thermal power stations, okay, across the globe. So that okay, by reducing the energy consumption at the load end, even we can reduce the usage of fossil fuel at the generation end. So by that we can reduce the use of natural resources, and reducing the waste which is released into the environment. Obviously, so when you burn the fuel like carbon, there is a carbon emission that can also be reduced, and improving the quality of life. Okay, so by reducing the carbon emission we can reduce the pollution, so by that we can improve the quality of life. Reducing the carbon footprint and minimizing the effects of global warming. So global warming is the topic, a burning topic. Okay, so nowadays every year, so we are observing that the rise of 1 or 2 degree temperature across the globe at global level. So that can be reduced by reducing the energy consumption, or we can conserving the energy at the load side. And the same thing again, we can lowering the carbon dioxide emissions, and even we can reduce the greenhouse gas emissions and other pollutants. And also we can bringing economic and environmental benefits. Okay, as I said, the conservation of 1 unit of energy is equal to generation of 2 unit of energy. So obviously if you reduce 100 units or 1000 units of energy, it is equal to 200 or 2000 of unit generation. So that obviously you can reduce the cost of energy, so that we can, it's going to be very economic, and also environmental benefits are also there already, as we have discussed. And reducing the expenses related to fossil fuels. Okay, again it is one more thing. So here the mostly used fossil fuel is coal for the generation. Okay, so all the time, all 65 days it is not available. So availability is also important thing. Okay, so that we can reduce the expenses. Okay, so, and building design plays a big role in energy conservation. Here building design in the sense, okay, so illumination. Okay, so the illumination of the building and also the ventilation of the building, that is the main thing while designing a building. Okay, so if you put a proper ventilation system, like windows and other things while designing the building, we can reduce the number of fans used for a building, and also we can reduce number of lights required for the building. So in that sense we can reduce. Okay, it is going to play, your building design also plays a very big role in energy conservation. And next we come to energy audit. Audit is an inspection, survey and an analysis of energy flows for energy conservation in a building or industry. Okay, if you consider domestic environment, okay, just if you see the flow of power, there are different equipments being used in domestic environment. It may be a light, or it may be fan, refrigerator, anything. Okay, so wherever it is possible, you can conserve the energy. If you want to conserve the energy, you should be do a thorough inspection, okay, of the efficient operation of a particular device or electrical equipment. Then you will come to know whether it is operating at optimum efficiency or not. If it is not, then you can go with the replacement, or you can go with energy efficient equipment. Okay, so then we can conserve the energy. The same thing it happens to industry. In industry, most of the industries, okay, we can see that the transformers and your induction motor is the main load. Okay, so wherein we can improve the power factor, as well as you have to, once if you go through the inspection, you will come to know the operating characteristics or operating parameters of induction motor by looking at the data. So either you can take a preventive measure or a required measure to improve the power factor or the replacement of the machine. By that we can conserve the energy. Okay, so even by that, what we can do, we can reduce the energy expense and carbon footprint. Okay, so this is the introduction to your energy conservation audit, and this is the course content. So again, this course will be divided into 5 units, unit number 1 to unit number 5. In first unit, we will be discussing about the energy scenario. So right from what are the types of energies, okay, commercial energy, non-commercial energy, primary energy sources and commercial energy production, okay, and energy pricing, economy of electrical energy generation, conservation, and also different air pollution, climate change, and also we'll be discussing about Energy Conservation Act 2001 and its features. And energy efficiency, in the second unit we'll be discussing about energy efficiency in electrical systems. Here we'll be discussing mostly on the most of the electrical terms like electricity building, electrical load management, power factor improvement, automatic power factor controllers, efficient operation of transformers, and efficient operation of motors, starters, etc. So here, so whatever the different electrical equipments are being used in the industry, that will be concentrating here in the energy efficiency in electrical system chapter. The third chapter, so we are going to go with the energy auditing. So here in this chapter we'll be discussing about a walk through energy. Okay, so there is a walk through energy auditing here. So how energy auditing should be carried out, what is the role of energy auditor, and how to form an energy auditing group. Okay, so those things will be discussed here, and what are the 10-step methodology for detailed energy audit. There are step-by-step process it is. Okay, so that will be discussing in detail in energy auditing chapter. And also the presentation of energy audit results. Once energy audit is done for a particular industry or a domestic environment, okay, now that report is to be submitted to the boss of the company or the owner of the building or building, so where they can conserve energy and they can reduce the electricity bill, or so that your detail will be having, sorry, your report will be having detail energy conservation things, and also how they can reduce their electricity bills. And in the next unit will be concentrating energy audit applied to buildings. Again, here it will be discussing about the saving measures in a new building. It is related to illumination, that is nothing but your light, and also the ventilation related. Again, it is the entire thing will be discussing about, it is related to, will be discussing related to the building design. And in the last chapter we'll be discussing about demand side management. So what is the demand side management, what is the scope of demand side management, okay, and how what is the load management as a demand side management strategy, and applications of load control, end use energy conservation, and tariff options for DSMs. How tariff is nothing but at what rate your electricity, it is nothing but electricity pricing, okay, so on what price your electricity is distributing to the loads, okay. So there are some of the concepts we were discussing in demand side management. So overall, so the requirement for this subject is, as I said, you should be knowing about basics of electrical engineering, basics of distribution system, and basics of electrical machines, because we will be concentrating most most on electrical machines, because they are consuming most of the energy in industry, okay. So this is about the course electrical energy conservation and auditing. So if you have any doubts, okay, you can come and meet me. If you want to select this subject or choose this subject, you can come and discuss. So I'll be available in the electrical engineering department and room number AF2, okay. So you can come and discuss. Okay, thank you very much for patient hearing. Continue ಮಾಡೋದಾ?
Okay, good morning students. I'm going to brief you about one more open elective which is being offered by the electrical and electronics department. The course title is solar and wind energy, and the course code is 21 EOE 732. It is a 3 credit course, and mainly, as the title is indicating, mainly we are going to discuss about the solar and wind energy or wind power generation. 3 units are dedicated for solar, and 2 units are dedicated for the wind related aspects. And coming to this particular subject, course learning objectives are, the first objective is to understand the principle of wind and solar energy and their significance in the field of the renewable energy. So means basics of this solar and wind energy, that is the first objective. And the second objective is to understand the design and operation of wind turbines and solar panels. Means the particular subject we are going to discuss about designing of solar PV systems also, and also the wind power systems also. So that design part also which is there with a particular subject. And the third objective is to understand the various techniques of harnessing wind and solar energy and their application in various sectors. Means there are many ways to extract the energy from the solar, and there are many ways to extract the electric energy from the wind also. There are many conversion techniques, so all those techniques we are going to discuss, and also the applications with respect to those concepts. And the last objective is to understand the environment, economic and social benefits, as these belonging to the renewable, and mainly the 90% of the renewable energy being harnessed from solar and wind only. So this particular subject is dedicated only about the solar and wind. And the prerequisites to these subjects are basic electrical and renewable energy sources. And coming to the first unit, in the first unit we are going to discuss about the solar energy basics. Means the what is the distance between the sun and the earth, and the different angles, and how to measure the solar radiations, and how much solar energy are the heat we are going to get per day, or with respect to the specific area, and how much light means basically solar means light energy into the electrical energy we convert. So how much light we receive, and then the solar geometry. So all these things and the few problems related to that, and also the measuring instruments of solar irradiation. So all these we are going to discuss in the first unit. And the hours of first unit is 8 hours. And in the second unit we are going to discuss about the solar thermal system and solar thermal electric power generation. Means the thermal applications, means whatever the solar heat is there, that will be converted into thermal energy, and that thermal energy will be used for the applications. So best example is solar cooker and solar water heaters are the best examples for the solar thermal systems. Means from the solar energy only the thermal energy we are extracting. So all the different types of techniques which are available to extract the thermal energy from the solar, and how to utilize that for the different application, that we are going to discuss. And in the second part, thermal electric, it is a solar thermal electric means thermal energy we are going to extract, and from that electric energy power generation. So best example is a solar pond. Means solar ponds will be created, and a lot of heat will be trapped in the pond, and that heat will be given to the boilers, and then the power generation will be done. So that is one best example. So these all concepts we are going to discuss in the second unit. And coming to the third unit is a general whatever we are seeing in the real world, solar PV systems. So PV means photovoltaic systems. Means photo means light, so light to the voltaic means electric energy. Means solar light or solar radiation into the electric power conversion. So these we are going to discuss in the third unit. So how these solar cells will be made, which all the types of solar cells, and how to create the solar PV modules, and array creations, and MPPT, maximum power tracking by the solar, and the different systems means we can design the solar system for standalone system, means in the remote areas, and there will be a batteries which stores the energy, and we will be utilizing that is what we call it as a standalone system. And also grid connected system, means solar power will be connected to the grid. So whenever the excess power is generated, it will be pumped into the grid. Whenever the deficiency is there, we will be taking from the grid. And then solar applications with respect to street lighting system and water pumping system and all. So this solar water pumping system, already many water pumping systems are installed in the throughout India. So all these we are going to discuss in the third unit. These first three units are dedicated for the solar, and the another two units, that is the unit number 4 and 5, are dedicated for the wind. So in the fourth unit we are going to discuss about the wind basics. So the history of wind energy, it goes back to the 18th century, and even from the 15th century we were using from the ancient days, but not exactly we were generating the electric power, but the wind flow, that is a wind kinetic energy, it was in use. So all those history about the wind energy we are going to discuss, and the nature of the wind, and how to convert the kinetic energy of the wind to the rotations basically. So what are the conversion techniques are there, and how much power we can extract, and how to select the site for the wind power generation, and the economic benefits of the wind power generation, and also the problems associated with the wind power generations. All this we are going to discuss in the fourth unit. And then in the fifth unit, wind conversion technologies, means wind power to the electric power conversion technologies, different types of turbines which are available. Majorly we will be discussing about the horizontal wind turbines and vertical wind turbines, and in horizontal again the different types, and in vertical again the different types of wind turbines, and the aerodynamic analysis, and the derivations, power derivations. Basically it is kinetic, means basically potential to kinetic, kinetic to the electric power generation. So as the different stages will be there, so by considering all the factor, how much power we can extract from the wind energy conversion systems. And then here again the standalone and the grid connected systems similar to the solar. So all these we are going to discuss in the fifth unit. So this is about the subject. 3 units are dedicated for solar and 2 more for the wind. And GD Roy and BH Con, the textbooks on the non-conventional energy sources, so these can be referred for this particular subject. And if you have any clarifications with respect to opting these subjects or the concepts, so you can approach me in the first floor, staff room number 2, electrical department. So I'll be available. So with this I will end the counseling session of this solar and wind energy subject.
Yes, sir.
ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ. Good morning students, I am Dr. Amit from the Department of MBA, and we shall be offering you marketing management in the 7th semester as an elective. Now this is a very interesting subject. To begin with, this is a contrast of the the technical things that you learn in engineering to a very different subject, that is marketing management. Now the prerequisites for this particular course are not much. These are the day-to-day activities that you do as a consumer while buying your products, services, evaluating advertisements, and making a product choice. So to begin with, in the first module, that is Introduction to Marketing, we shall have an overview of various definitions of marketing. People believe that marketing is only selling, but it is not selling. There are so many other aspects related to marketing that one needs to know. So your first module basically deals with different definitions of marketing. What do you mean by a market? What are the elements of marketing? Who are the people involved in a market or the marketing process? Followed by need, wants and demand. Then we shall study about various marketing orientations. There are 7 orientations of marketing which we shall study in detail. Orientations are nothing but the approach that a company adopts to sell its products and services. Followed by that, we shall study about different functions of marketing, difference between marketing and selling, and the most important aspect of marketing is the 7 P's or the 4 P's. What we say, marketing mix are the 4 P's: product, place, price and promotion. Whereas the other 3 P's are known as service marketing mix. They are people, process and physical evidence. So we shall study about these 7 P's of marketing and a general overview of what marketing is all about, followed by various marketing environments in which an organization operates. So there are macro environments as well as micro environments. So we shall study these aspects in detail in module number 1. Moving forward to module number 2. Module number 2 basically deals with understanding consumer behavior. Now for every marketeer, it's important to understand whom are they trying to sell their products or services, or how are they trying to position their products and services to the market outside. So here understanding the meaning of consumer behavior is very, very important. So consumer behavior can be basically defined as the approach that a consumer adopts to buy or select a product. So there are various phases through which a consumer goes through while buying a product. So this module initially, to begin with, focuses on understanding consumer behavior, importance of consumer behavior and various factors that influence consumer behavior. Your financial ability, demographics, your cultural aspects. These are all the entities which directly or indirectly affect the way a consumer chooses a product or a service. So we shall be throwing some light here on these aspects. Then we shall understand about the buying decision making process, different roles that people perform while buying, and there's something called as characteristics of the Gen Z. Gen Z are basically you people. How has buying changed over a period of time? This is what will be discussed in unit number 2. Moving forward to unit number 3, it basically talks about product management, pricing and branding. Now product management basically means that when a product is introduced to the market, we say the product is born, then people start accepting it, the product grows, and eventually the product matures, and then it comes to a phase of decline where there are new alternatives available in the market. So every product or a service has certain life cycle. So in this particular unit, we shall discuss about the different phases through which a product passes and the different strategies that an organization adopts to revamp or revitalize those products and services. Here we shall also discuss about concepts pertaining to packaging and labeling that contribute to branding of the products and services. Module number 4 talks about distribution and promotion. Now for every organization, it is important to ensure that their products are available to the people when the people need them. If the products are not available to the people when they need them, the consumers are going to opt for an alternative and you are going to lose your market. So distribution plays a very, very crucial role in marketing. So module 4 or unit 4 basically deals with different distribution strategies, followed by something called as integrated marketing communication. Here we shall discuss about aspects pertaining to advertising, direct marketing, publicity, promotion, sales promotion, and all these activities which an organization undertakes to ensure that the communication message reaches the end consumer. And finally, moving to unit number 5. Unit number 5 talks about segmentation, targeting and positioning, in marketing terms commonly known as STP analysis. So segmentation is nothing but dividing the market into a group of people with homogeneous needs. It's very important for an organization to know the common characteristics of people who would buy their products, which will help them shape the product, services as well as strategies to cater their needs. So that is called as segmentation. Targeting is the kind of approaches that an organization adopts to sell its products. And finally, positioning is how does a how does a marketer place the product in the mind of the consumer. It's very important for an organization that the consumer perceive its products in a good sense, that is in a positive way. Only then they are going to accept. So a lot of efforts are taken by organization to position their product in the mind of the consumer. So unit 5 basically deals about these psychological strategies as far as positioning is concerned. Other than this, you should be doing certain kind of assignments which require to do a lot of research outside in the market, collect some kind of an information, so that you understand aspects pertaining to marketing research as well. So overall, this subject is going to be fun and very different from the technical aspects that you learn in engineering. Looking forward to seeing you all. In case you have any doubts or queries pertaining to this subject, feel free to connect with me in the Department of MBA. I am Dr. Amit. You can come and meet me anytime you want. Thank you so much. Thank you.
FMR.
Dear students, myself Dr. Kadaya Mathar, faculty from Information Science and Engineering Department. I am giving introduction of the open elective offered by Information Science and Engineering Department. The course name is Introduction to Web Application Development and the course code is 21IS731. Giving the details of this course, the course type is open elective and the credits are 3 and the lecture, tutorial and practical goes as 2 hours of lecture and 2 hours of practical every week, and it has got a CIE marks of 100 and SW marks of 100. The course learning objectives focuses on developing client-based web pages using HTML5, CSS3 and JavaScript, and to learn integration of web forms with databases. So you will be learning about front-end application development, and in the back end it will be focusing on the database through PHP. Wherein you will be able to design and develop web pages for real-time applications. Now going on unit wise, unit 1 is on HTML and unit 2 is on CSS, wherein hypertext markup language helps you to build a web application. So every web page will be having hypertext markup language included in that. The markup language focuses on the text, adding of the links, images, table markup, creation of forms. So all these are the components of hypertext markup language. Second unit is on cascading style sheets, which we refer it as CSS or presentation. That is, it focuses mainly on the presentation. Cascading style sheets where it will be used for formatting of the text that is displayed on the web page, giving colors, creating backgrounds for the web pages. It also has the terminologies included for working with the box concept, creating floating or positioning effects to the components of the web page, including the transitions, transforms, animations. All these are the features provided by cascading style sheet. So coming on to unit 3 and unit 4. Unit 3 is on JavaScript. That is, to create a dynamic web page, always HTML requires JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language wherein it doesn't require a compilation. What it requires is only interpretation, and interpretation is available nowadays on all the machines. So JavaScript code can be interpreted anywhere. It includes fundamentals of JavaScript, then document object model, the library supported in JavaScript, scripting with jQuery, Angular, JavaScript. The fourth unit is concerned with hypertext preprocessor. We call it as PHP, and it is at the back end, wherein at the front end whatever the data is there, it can be processed at the back end at the server side, and it can get the data and send a response to that request of a HTML page from the client side. So passing information with PHP, learning PHP string handling, as well as PHP, you can integrate that with the database, which you will be studying in unit 5. So unit 5 is with MySQL database integration. You have PHP, you will be learning PHP, and in unit 5 you will be learning about MySQL database, wherein a database is meant for storing the data. So anything related to a web application, the data gets stored in the database, and any request of storing the data at the server side and getting the response from the server happens through the databases. So that is available in unit 5, which is on database integration. Coming on to the course outcomes, course outcome 1 is understanding the web design principles to develop interactive client-side web pages. Our course outcome 2 is on to elaborate the basics of PHP, including databases, and apply the same to integrate with web forms. And course outcome 3 is to examine the learnings inculcated throughout the course and apply the concepts to develop a project for real-time web applications. Coming on to the textbooks prescribed for this syllabus are with Learning Web Design, a beginner's guide to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and web graphics, which covers most of the syllabus, including HTML, PHP, CSS, and the database part is available in the second prescribed book with the title as PHP and MySQL. So at the end, to conclude, this particular course is a course focusing on project, wherein you will be working with the experiments, doing the experiments, and at the end SW exam will be on the project, wherein you can form the batches among yourself. So each batch will be doing one project, and each batch may consist of max 4 students, and you will be working on a project by framing a title, then doing all the work by studying all these concepts and including those concepts, and developing a project, and that will be the part of your SW exam, demonstration of the project. So myself working in information science and department, any other doubts you or clarifications, you can come and meet me. Thank you.
Aita, enable.
A very good morning to all. So my name is Srivatsa D. Perur. I am working as assistant professor in the Department of Information Science and Engineering at KLSGIT. Today here I am to present introduction to open elective subject, and the subject name is data science and analytics. So it is a 300 course, which means there will be no lab component. So data science applications, it is used everywhere. So e-commerce, manufacturing, banking, finance, transport, healthcare, wherever you go, data science applications coming to picture. So in order to facilitate this particular applications with respect to any engineering domain, we have introduced this subject to you, to the students of 7th semester. So whatever domains you name, in that domain the data science applications will be there. So the course learning objectives are to provide an overview of an exciting growing field of big data analytics, to introduce basic data analytics methods, to teach the fundamental techniques and principles of data analytics, to enable students to have skills that will help them to solve complex real world problems for decision support using visualization techniques. The prerequisites for this courses are knowledge of database management systems. So the syllabus goes as like this. In the unit 1 we are going to cover the introduction part, and we are going to take you through the life cycle. So here in the introduction we take you through the big data overview. What is big data? What is the state of practice in the analytics, business intelligence versus big data science. Then we are going to take you through a data analytics life cycle, which involves 6 phases. Discovery, data preparation, model planning, model building, communication of results, and operationalization. So all these 6 phases will be taken up in the detail. The second unit is dedicated to statistics. So here we are going to take you through the difference of means, Wilcoxon-Ransom test, type 1 and type 2 errors, power and sample sizes, ANOVA tests, hypothesis testing. And here we are going to take you through the clustering, overview of clustering, then k-means algorithms, use cases of k-means, overview of the methods, determining the number of clusters, diagnostics, reason to choose clustering techniques, and the cautions to be taken while we are choosing this clustering methods. In the unit 3 we have kept it for association rules and regression advanced analytical theory and methods, wherein which we will be taking you through the association rules, a priori algorithm, evaluation of candidate rules, along with some case studies of transactions in the grocery stores, which we famously call it as market basket analysis, validation and testing, diagnostics. In the regression part we take you through the linear regression, logistic regression, regions to choose and cautions, and an introduction about additional regression models which are available. The fourth unit is dedicated to classification techniques. Here we take you through decision trees, overview of decision trees, general algorithm, then naive based classification algorithm, smoothing of the algorithms, how we can smooth the data sets, and then diagnostics and additional classification methods. The fifth unit is dedicated to the data visualization. Here we take you through introduction to data visualization, challenges which occur when we are doing this data visualization, conventional data visualization tools, and then types of data visualization, tools used in data visualization, and analytical techniques used in big data visualization. So here these 5 units are in the syllabus. The outcomes of the course are: explain the fundamental of big data and data analytics life cycle, apply statistical methods to specific domain of interest, analyze the scenarios evolved through different statistical models, apply and demonstrate the applications of real world dataset for specific example using R and Python and visualization tool. So the scheme of evaluation will be: there will be 2 tests of 25 marks each, online quizzes, 4 online quizzes, and then we will be having 2 open book assignments and a course seminar, total constituting to 100 marks. So the minimum score for eligibility is 40 marks out of 100. So this is a brief introduction about data science and analytics subject. So if you have any queries, you can contact me. I'll be available in the Department of Information Science. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Everyone, this subject is open elective. The code is 21ME7311. The subject is engineering economics. You should have elementary knowledge of simple and compound interest. So we have totally 5 chapters. In that, unit 1 is introduction, that is principles of engineering economics. Why we require engineering economy? We need to have decision makers and problem solving and decision making. Then we have interest factors as simple interest, compound interest, effective, nominal interest rates, cash flow diagrams, exercise and discussion. In unit 2 we have basis of comparison of alternatives, that is present worth comparisons, conditions for the present worth comparisons, present worth equivalence, net worth assets with unequal lives, future worth, all these things come as part of basis for comparison. Then unit 3 we have depreciation and cost and inflation. Nowadays you are hearing about the inflation rates, depreciation of the vehicles which you are buying. All these are calculated, and how the causes of depreciation and methods of computing depreciation changes can be done in unit 3. In unit 4, the scope and finance functions and financial solution ratio analysis, statements of financial information, sources of financial information, financial statements, preparing a balance sheet, profit and loss account, relation with balance sheets and profit and loss account, financial ratios and numericals. Then you have a flip class of tax concepts, various types of taxes. Of course, once you start earning, you need to start paying the income taxes. So this will give the insight of various types of taxes. Then unit 5 is the break-even analysis and replacement analysis. During replacement analysis, that is when you have bought a new vehicle and you have run so many kilometers and the mileage is over 50,000 kilometers. So what will be the break-even analysis and whether should I go for replacement or not? So that can be done by calculating the replacement analysis and reasons for replacement of an asset, individual replacement and group replacement policies. The textbooks are readily available in the library. James L. Riggs, The Engineering Economy, that is the 4th edition. Then Niall M. Fraser. Then we have resources through NPTEL. We can go with Pradeep Kumar Jha, IIT Roorkee, and Introduction to Accounting and Finance, IIT Kanpur. So the course outcomes: understanding the concepts of engineering economics, financial management, then apply the methods to compare the alternative for different assets to choose the best one, apply the scope of finance functions and financial resources. So you can take this subject in case you want to go for a higher studies, where you want to take MBA as your this one post graduation. So it will be helpful for this, and those who have their own industry, or those who want to go for a startup. So this will help a lot in getting and understanding the economics of the engineering. So this is about engineering economics. The next one is automotive engineering, the 21ME7314. So here we have prerequisites of basic knowledge of an automobile and elements of mechanical engineering. Presently we will be studying about the old method of how the vehicle is running and new method of digitalization. Most of digitalization is taking place with respect to automobiles. You have autonomous vehicles, you have ADAS systems, all these things. So this is all about the automotive industry, how it is going on right now. So we have unit 1 as power unit, working principle of IC engines, review of 4-stroke engines, principle of working of hybrid electric vehicles. So you have electric vehicles right now going on in the market. Then basic components of engine. So these are all basis where you will be having a basic understanding, and then later how the electronics and computer science part will be replacing those mechanical instruments. Second unit is the basis of electronic engine control, that is motivation for electronic engine control, concepts of an electronic engine control system, definitions of general terms, electronic ignition, sensors and actuators. Most of the vehicles right now are coming with sensors. Control systems, applications of sensors and actuators, temperature sensors, exhaust gas, oxygen sensor, automotive engine control actuators. Then unit 3 is again mechanical. Unit 1 and unit 3 are mechanical. Unit 2 and unit 4 are electronics. And last unit 5 is about computer science. So unit 3 is power transmission, automatic transmission, propeller shaft and universal joints, differential steering geometry. In suspensions and brakes, you require suspensions for smooth drive, and you require braking for stopping the vehicle. So you will be studying about disc brake, then types of braking, the operation, how it takes vacuum, air braking and hydraulic braking system, which are used in almost all vehicles which are running on the road. Then unit 4, again the electronic parts of whatever we are studying in unit 3. Vehicle motion control, typical cruise control system, anti-lock braking system. Then we have automotive instrumentation and telematics, modern automotive instrumentation, input and output signal conversion, coolant temperature measurements, oil pressure measurement, vehicle speed measurement, CAN networks and telematics. Telematics include all the other sensor inputs, how we can get the conversion of what the sensor is all about. Then unit 5 is all about the future of automotive, that is basics of IoT, autonomous vehicles, GPS tracking system, onboard online monitoring system, RFID system for vehicle service history. So most of the vehicles which are coming for servicing, so the history is known first. So if there is a repetitive problem, so it can be solved by getting through the RFID system with the service history records. Then textbooks, we have a number of textbooks: R.B. Gupta Automobile Engineering, Kirpal Singh Automobile Engineering, then William Ribbons Understanding Automotive Electronics. Then reference books, we have Rangwala, that is Trends in Automobile Engineering. Then we have the e-sources, these are readily available, we can download all the videos anytime. Then the skill and competence enhanced after undergoing this course, you will have vehicle assembly, tire dynamics, vessel maintenance, aircraft maintenance, you can go with this. Applicable industry sectors and domains, you can go in automotive sector, electronics sector of automobile, marine sector and aviation sector. Job roles the students can take up after undergoing this course is design engineer, ADAS system engineer, transportation engineer and maintenance engineer. So this is all about automobile engineering. Thank you.
Hello everyone. In the next few minutes, I will take you through the introductory session for an open elective being offered by the Department of Information Science and Engineering titled Advanced Java. Java is a widely used and a very popular and powerful programming language. And it has become a vital programming language in the software development world. The reason why Java is so important and has come to occupy this place of importance is there are different types of applications that can be developed, designed and developed using advanced Java features. For example, we can build mobile applications, desktop-based applications, web-based applications, web-based GUI applications, Android applications, etc., to name a few. To help students gain the first steps or gain initiatives into the world of Java programming, the Department of Information Science and Engineering is offering a course on advanced Java with the following objectives. The first objective is to help the learners understand different ways of handling input-output operations involving streams. Second objective is to help the learners gain knowledge of how to write a multi-threaded program using the multi-threaded concepts that are provided in Java and its various applications. The third objective is to familiarize the learners with the concepts of JDBC and to understand how to connect a Java application to a database in the backend and allow a front-end application to interact with a backend database. The fourth objective of introducing this particular subject is to help the students demonstrate fundamental concepts of swing applications which are used in building GUI applications. The course content is split across 5 units. Unit 1 and Unit 2 are entirely going to be focusing on the various aspects of performing input-output operations using the concepts of streams in Java. The third unit is focusing on designing and writing multi-threaded programs. The fourth unit is on JDBC, which is an acronym for Java Database Connectivity, and the last unit is essentially going to be focusing on building GUI applications using swings. When we talk of input-output operations are at the core of all Java applications, whether it is a standalone application or whether it is a web-enabled application. Input-output operations are at the core of almost all Java applications. The input-output operations involve different kinds of input devices and different kinds of output devices. Most Java applications will receive input from different sources and will send the results of processing in the form of output to various kinds of output devices. And that is the reason that the first two units are essentially going to be focusing on the study of input-output subsystem in Java. Unit 1 is going to be a more generic study of the various classes and interfaces that Java supports or Java provides to perform basic input-output operations. For example, a Java application could be receiving and writing data or the results of computation from and to different sources such as files, network connections, user input. All these input-output operations in Java are performed using streams and interfaces that are a part of Java libraries. So in the first unit on Java I/O, the focus will be on taking up for discussion and study the various classes and interfaces that Java provides for performing different input-output operations involve different sources and destinations. Regardless of the kind of application that is written, majority of the Java applications make use of a file as the primary source of input and the primary destination for output, for writing output. And that is the reason there is an entire unit, that is unit number 2, focusing on the study of the input-output file subsystem that Java supports. In this topic, students will be exposed to how to perform input and output operations, that is reading and writing from and to files using the various built-in classes and interfaces that are supported in Java. More often than not, when the file is the primary source of input and the primary destination for output, we make use of predefined classes in Java such as the file input stream class, the file output stream class, the file reader and the file reader. So unit 2 is entirely going to be focusing on input-output, the study of input-output operations involving files. The third unit is titled multithreading. Any Java application in general can be written and designed as either a single-threaded application or a multi-threaded application. The difference between the two is in terms of the number of tasks that an application can perform. If a Java application is designed as a single-threaded application, it can perform at most a single task at any given point of time. Whereas, if an application is designed as a multi-threaded application, the application will have multiple threads of execution, each thread performing a different task. In simple terms, a single-threaded application can perform only one task at any given point of time, whereas a multi-threaded application can perform multiple tasks at the same time. Obviously, designing and developing an application as a multi-threaded application has various advantages. The most important advantage is the maximum utilization of the CPU. In addition to that, the performance of the application is also improved and the application can perform multiple tasks. So under Unit 3, titled multithreading, the students will be exposed to the concept of multithreading and, more importantly, the support that Java as a programming language extends or provides the students with classes and libraries that can be used to write multithreaded applications. So Unit 3 is entirely going to be focusing on the study of multithreading, and students will be able to write multi-threaded applications using inbuilt support that is provided in Java. Unit 4 is on JDBC. JDBC is an acronym for Java Database Connectivity. Most real-world applications will allow a user to interact with a Java application through a graphical user interface. The user will interact and provide input through the graphical user interface, which at the end of the day has to go and be stored permanently into a database at the backend. So when we talk of the graphical user interface, that is an entity that is independent of the database in the backend. The front end, the GUI, will allow the user to interact with an application, and the database, for example, a Oracle database in the backend, will allow users to store the data permanently. So these are two independent entities. In order to enable the data from the Java application to go and sit permanently into a database, there has to be some kind of a connection that is established between the GUI or the Java application that allows a user to interact and the database at the backend. And this connection is made possible through Java's database connectivity, acronymed as JDBC. JDBC in Java is an API that enables Java applications in the front end to interact with databases in the back end, and this communication generally happens through standard SQL queries and updates. So in short, unit number 4 will allow a student to understand how to connect your Java application or a graphical user interface to the database in the back end. The last unit, unit number 5, is going to focus on building GUI applications using the concept of swings. Like I told you when we were discussing JDBC, that you need a graphical user interface that allows users to interact with your Java application. How do we design such a graphical user interface? That is made possible through Java's Swing. Swing is Java's GUI toolkit that allows users to make use of a set of lightweight components to design and build graphical user interfaces, and these graphical user interfaces will allow users to interact with your Java application. An example of a GUI is essentially shown in the slide here. So unit number 5 on swings is going to help students understand how to build simple, pluggable, look and feel GUI or graphical user interfaces that will allow users to interact with your Java application. So these essentially are the 5 units which the students will be exposed to. The first 2 units are going to be focusing on performing different input-output operations involving different sources and different destinations. Unit 3 is going to focus on designing and building multi-threaded programs. Unit 5 is going to be on JDBC, where you will understand how to connect your Java application to a database in the backend, and Unit 5 is going to allow you to design or help you design graphical user interfaces. Now, what is it that you can achieve at the end of completing this course? At the end of completing this course, students who complete this course will be able to explore roles in the industry as Java application developers. In the beginning, I mentioned that it is not just Java applications or a single application that you will be able to design. You will also be able to design different kind of applications. For example, standalone applications, web applications, GUI based web applications, cloud applications, and so on. So the kind of exposure that you can gain after completing this course is wide. The major role that you will be able to take up once you complete this particular course on advanced Java is that of an application developer. Thank you.
Myself, Professor Vinaya Deshpande, Department of Mathematics. So we are floating the elective Optimization Techniques 21 March 761 for 7th semester. It is for all branches. So now let us see the salient features. Optimization techniques have long been a great importance to engineers, like it provides a powerful tool for understanding the data collected from experiments and other activities. And engineering relies heavily upon operation research. Start from statistical models for problem solving to helping make decisions based on probability. Now let us see the syllabus. Syllabus is like this. In first unit we have introduction to OR and linear programming problem. In introduction to OR we study how OR is originated and its definition, steps in the study of OR, characteristics and limitations of operation research, and what are models used in operation research. And after that we are studying linear programming problem. Linear programming problem, how to formulate the problem mathematically and how to solve it graphically, and then the solution which is based manually. Okay, and in that we are studying feasible solutions, correspondence between basic feasible solution and extreme points. And in second unit it tells about the simplex method and duality. Suppose for example if we are unable to solve the formulated mathematical model using graphical method, then we can go for simplex method where more number of variables are there. So in a simplex method, even it is a form of linear programming problem. Here we formulate the problem and we solve it by simplex method. And in this we are studying unbounded and infeasible solutions and primal solution, and same solution we are writing in the other form, which is known as duality theory. Now third unit is transportation and assignment problem. In transportation problem, we are formulating the problem, methods of finding initial basic feasible solution, and different methods are there for solving the transportation problem. Those methods are northwest corner rule, least cost method, and WAM method, that is Vogel's approximation method. And we are also learning algorithm for obtaining optimal solution using MODI method, that is modified distribution method. Then assignment problem, formulating assignment problem, and one of the procedure to solve assignment problem is Hungarian method. Now next unit 4, fourth unit is game theory and queuing theory. Game theory, it is totally business based, and here businessmen, how they use different strategy to be success in their business, it gives. For in game theory, we are studying formulation of two-person zero-sum game, games with mixed strategies, and graphical representation of games. And there are many procedures like game by dominance principle and solution of game by two-person. And again queuing theory. In queuing theory, we are studying queuing systems and their characteristics, pure birth and pure death models, and Kendall amps, and so on, and numerical on MM1 and MMC queuing models. Okay. And the last unit is nothing but network analysis. Here in network analysis, we learn network scheduling by CPM and PERT, rules of network construction, numbering of events, construction of network, time analysis, forward pass computation, backward pass computation, and determination of floats and slack times. Here in this unit, we are also studying critical path method. Critical path method means it is nothing but the shortest path, okay, to reach from one destination to other destination. And similarly in this we are studying again program evaluation techniques, that is PERT. Then cost analysis in networks, how to minimize the cost. Okay. Now let us look out for the role of operation research for engineers. Now looking at some of the real world uses of operation research may help the engineers, especially when it comes to inventing new goods or inventions. So here is the role of statistics and operation research in engineering. See, design of the experiments. So optimization technique for optimizing designs, process and product is called a design of experiments. So the procedure entitles conducting a number of experiments to evaluate various parameters and quantify the outcomes. The data gathered from these studies is analyzed using statistical models which reveal which combinations of factors or variables result in the best product performance. By applying DOE approaches, production process can be greatly optimized, leading to increased product quality, lowering costs and increases reliability. Now role of operation techniques for engineers. Transportation, here we have seen in one of the unit transportation model. In transportation model, help in optimizing logistics and distribution networks to minimize cost and also in allocating resources. For example, allocating raw materials, components, etc. efficiently across different production facilities. Assignment problem help us in assigning personnel to task to maximize productivity or minimize cost. These concepts and models are crucial in engineering for optimizing system performance, resource allocation and decision making under uncertainty and competition. They provide quantitative tools to analyze and improve the efficiency of complex systems in various real world applications. So now, role of operation research for engineers, how it helps in decision making. See, better decision making is one of the key benefits of applying statistical concepts in engineering. So using statistical data to analyze options and evaluate possible outcomes, engineers can make decision based on facts and not on assumptions. For example, if a part of a system fails repeatedly, statistical analysis can help identify underlying cause. So it's a proactive approach to ensuring the product meets its intended purpose. Statistical methods such as a regression analysis can also help engineers to identify the factors that influence particular process, allowing them to make informed decisions about the process. Now, why we are selecting operation research? Engineers do not work in isolation. They interact with different disciplines including operation research. The statistical methods used in engineering apply rigorous scientific principles to designing, developing and constructing products of systems. So from probability to experimental design to hypothesis testing to quality control, the statistical methods used in engineering allow for the data-backed decision making and assess the uncertainty and risk involved in real-world environments. So using optimization technique is essential for engineers to design, validate hypotheses, maintain quality control and create innovative solutions. So thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. So I am Mishwar Gowda V. Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Aeronautical Engineering, and our Department of Aeronautical Engineering is offering the open elective named Airport Operation, and the subject code is 21AE732. And so what are the basic objectives? If you are choosing this subject, what are the basic course objectives of this airport operations? So one thing, you will understand the airport and its operation, how the airport works, how the baggage and handling will work, how the security things will be there, how the parking system, how the apron will work, how the hangar will work, and how the technicians or the AME, aircraft maintenance engineers will work, and all these things you will know about its operations and all. You'll gain the knowledge of ground handling and the baggage handling system. You will understand the various operations and technical services, and you will know the administrative and the performance, the key performance index of the airport operations, the overall airport, based upon the different departments like ATC, air traffic control, so ground handling, then terminals, hangars, AME, fuel station, everywhere. So what are the performance and what are their administration things and all, so you will learn in this subject. And the first unit of this airport operation is about the system of the airport. That is, so what is planning? In the planning there will be two different types, that is design planning and master planning. And what are the requirements to construct an airport, and what are the futures? So what is the GDP of the particular airport? So what are the major development happening in the Indian aviation system? So what are the airport emergencies? What is airport security, safety management, and weather operations, and decision making, and all these things you will study about the airport in the unit 1. And in unit 2 you will study about the airport and ground operations, where you will study about the CDM and ACDM. So what is CDM is? CDM is nothing but the collaborative decision making, and ACDM is airport collaborative decision making, which gives you to develop the airport for the efficiency, for its efficiency and for the operational purposes. And what are the problems which they are facing, and what are the recent problems which they are facing, and what are the future problems which they are facing based upon the CDM. And so what are the trajectory of operation for the air side and the land side? That is nothing but the two parts of the or the two section of the aviation industry for the flight path and its terminal. And what are the business services and business rules? What are the different types of airport categories, and what are the different types of aircrafts categories in an aviation system? And so how to develop the ACDM and how to implement that one, and what are the future aspects of the CDM and ACDM in the aviation industry, that you will study in the unit 2. And in unit 3, so we will study about the emergency planning and the response for the airport. That is nothing but the rules and regulations, that is nothing but CAR, that is civil aviation regulations, and for FAR, that is nothing but the federal aviation regulations, with the basic aviation emergency management and the roles and their roles, and what are the, for example, in for part 14, part 23, part 39, part 149, all these things, why we are using, why we have to study, and all these things under the technical publication. Simply we in the aviation industry will call it as tech pub, right? So and all these things, the regulatory requirements will be there in the tech pub, and we'll study about their rules and the emergency aviation management system, what are its roles and responsibilities, and so what are its tasks, action plans, and how the notification will be there for the alarm plans or the safety purposes, right? So what are the communication system which we are using when during the crisis, so what are the toolbox which we are providing for the staffs, and how we have to plan and the execution. And in unit 4 we will study about the aviation security operations, where which we study about the what are the threats and security, what we can do, and what are the international and the national legislative aspects for the aviation securities, and what are the risk management system, and what are the threat analysis, and so how the cargo and passenger aircraft securities will be done, how we will implement, and all these things we will study in the aviation security operations. And the last module, so we'll study about its performance and administration. So what are the performance, how it will be threat and all these things, how we can improve the performance, if any fault happens, how we can improve, so how the airport operation can be tactically approached when there is any problem, and so how the management operational performance will be improved, and what are the factors for the increasing the performance of the airport and the aviation industry, how the controlling center, so how the ATC works, and how the airport operation will be considered and the performance will be monitored, and how we can improve. All these things we will study in the unit 5. For these things, so basically we will follow the textbooks of the airport operations by Norman, and the planning and design of airports by Horangeff, right? So these two textbooks we will follow for this subject. And so what are the basic course outcomes of this subject, airport operation? After you are selecting this airport operation, so what are the outcomes, why we have to study this subject? That is, you will get to know what is going on in the airport, so what is actually the aviation industry and all these things, how they will handle, what is the management system, what will be the protocol, so what will be the service, what will be the administration, what will be the operations of all these things, how they will handle the financial techniques, and all these things you will study after or else if you are selecting this course. And so what are the job opportunity if you are studying these things? So what are the skills you will acquire? So basically you will know about the piloting and the maintenance in the airport operations, and so you will get and what are the things in basically in the aviation industries, right? So there will be the 3-4 categories like military airports, right? So passenger or the normal international airports, domestic airports, then aerodromes, and all these things, how it will be applicable. And so what are the job roles which you are going to do is basically, so you will get the AME, as that is nothing but the aircraft maintenance engineer, then air traffic technicians, air traffic controller, ground handling instructor, right? So then air hostess, and all these things. These are the job roles. If you are studying this subject, these are the job roles when you are going for the aviation industry for the job. And thank you. So you can approach me if you have any doubt in this subject, you can approach me. Yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon everyone. Myself Dr. Kavita Hanabratti from CSE department. I am working as an assistant professor in the department of CSE. So I'll be handling machine learning as an open elective course for 7th semester students. The contents of the course goes like this. It has a 3 credit course with the CIE marks of 50 and SEE marks 50. So we have 3 classes per week. Total hours committed for this course is 40. So we will be having a SEE for the duration of 3 hours for 100 marks. Now we start with the basic concepts as per the syllabus. We have the introduction to machine learning, we'll be dealing what is machine learning. So it's an artificial branch of artificial intelligence that involves the developing of algorithms and statistical models that enables the computers to improve their performance or the task through experience rather than explicit programming. So it's an essence to learn from the data and make decisions and predictions based on the learning. So actually the concepts of artificial intelligence, deep learning, data science, everything is being clubbed up, but we will be having the concept of machine learning under the artificial intelligence as a part of the course. So here the machine learning is categorized into 3 parts. As per the syllabus, we will be working with some algorithms and we will be solving some of the problems with respect to supervised learning, unsupervised learning and reinforcement learning. So we will be going in detail what are those supervised learning, why do we require them, and what are unsupervised learning, and what are the various algorithms which come under unsupervised learning and reinforcement learning. So basically the types of machine learnings what we have is supervised learning, where the data is labeled. So we are going to train the data, we model the training and we finally test for the data. So some amount of data set with the present scenario we are going to work it for the testing, and then some of them are used for the training. So we train the model and we just try to predict whether the model whatever we have trained is going to give us some part of result, not the 100% but at least some accurate results we are going to predict. And in unsupervised learning it's an unlabeled data, so we don't know like what predictions we are going to make, but the thing is we need to utilize these unsupervised learning for some of the concepts where we cannot apply supervised learning algorithms. So we will be studying some of the unsupervised learning like classification and regression, where we are going to classify the things and then we try to predict the model. Also we are going to have in the 3rd unit as neural networks, where a human brain is being modeled in terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning, where we have a set of neurons. Neurons are considered as inputs, and we try to segregate these inputs, try to work upon some of the concepts like perceptrons, the transformers, the CNN, RNN and types of neural networks. And we basically study some of the basic algorithms like McCulloch-Pitts neuron and some of the basic concepts of perceptrons, and we try to model the data using neural network. So again in the 5th unit we have the probabilistic reasoning and Bayesian belief networks, where we are trying to catch up on the probabilities and work on some of the problems where we cannot apply either supervised, unsupervised or neural networks. We have to go with the probability concept, where either it is yes or no. So we tried to predict some of the Bayesian application networks, and we tried to categorize some of the applications like spam filtering, biomonitoring, information retrieval, spam filtering and other things. So we will be working with some case studies also, and we will be having some of the course projects with respect to the things whatever we have learned with respect to supervised, unsupervised and probabilistic reasoning approach. And the 4th unit we have artificial life learning through emergent behavior. Here mainly it concentrates on the artificial behavior of human beings, and we try to predict some of the algorithms like unpredictability, complexity and simplicity, adaptability and evolution and self-organization. So these are some of the characteristics what we are going to have under artificial life learning, and we are going to study some of the emergent AI algorithms on this. Last unit mainly covers with the genetic algorithms, where we are going to work on the fitness, crossover and mutation. These are some of the 3 main applications, or you can say we can have these 3 basic algorithms with respect to genetic algorithms, where we are going to stress upon some of the problems with fitness, crossover and mutation, and we try to again develop a model and try to predict its accuracy over the other machine learning algorithms. So these are some of the applications of genetic algorithms. We have optimization problem, we have combinational optimization, then machine learning, evolutionary robotics, then we have image and signal processing, financial modeling and other things. So we have the textbook as the standard textbook preferred for this, that is Ben Coppin, Apart from that, some few concepts have been taken from the Tom Michel, which is also a standard book, and you can have the reference book as Ethim Alpavin, and also we have Hasty as the reference books. But mainly we are going to concentrate on two textbooks, that is Ben Coppin and Tom Michel, where we can have most of the contents of the course syllabus being covered. The course outcomes, once we have done with the course, what are the various course outcomes we are going to have is, we are going to choose appropriate learning techniques based on the data set whatever we are going to have, apply neural networks and genetic algorithms effectively, use Bayesian techniques and derive learning rules. Also, the program outcomes gives you the engineering knowledge, problem analysis, as well as model tool usage. So we will be taking some part of the classes as working with some of the algorithms as a practical approach. We'll try to cover with Python or R based on the time allocation. We can have just 1 or 2 exercise problems to be implemented, so that we can have access more knowledge regarding the algorithms whatever we have done. No doubt we have done with the problems, but the thing is we need to implement it so that we can have the practical approach being taken care. So with the assessment methods involving are with the syllabus are the assignments, the quiz, internal assessment test. Either we can go for seminar or the course projects which are with the syllabus, or it can be apart from the syllabus, taken it as an open-ended questions. So the CI internal, that is continuous internal evaluation, goes with these things: assignments, class test, workbook and MCQ test. We can have some quiz part also being included as a part of the class, so that there may be an clear understanding of the subjects whatever we have covered. So the SEE examination will be conducted for 100 marks, and it will be scaled to 50 marks for the grade calculation. So minimum passing marks will be 40 out of 100, and the question paper structure, we will be having 5 units as per the standard rule. First unit will be having some L2 levels, that is explanatory level, then remaining units will be having some application based or analysis based concepts. So hope the introductory part of this session is clear. We request you to just go with this subject, so that the new techniques and new algorithms can be learned with machine learning as well as with AI. Thank you.
Start ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ
ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಐತೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುದ.
Good afternoon everyone. I'm handling data mining. That's an open elective subject. Its course code is 21CS733. This is I'm Dr. Prashant Niranjan, working as assistant professor in computer science department. So first of all, what is the need of learning data mining? So data mining is the process of searching and analyzing a large batch of raw data in order to identify patterns and extract useful information. So the data mining, as the term itself indicates or represents that, so here you are mining or extracting the useful information from the large amount of data set. So as data mining, it is also called as knowledge discovery in databases, because the knowledge discovery in databases, so we have a large amount of data set, so maybe in TB or maybe we have in GBase, okay, large amount of data is stored, but when you want to extract only some useful information out of that, then we use some data mining techniques to extract the useful information from the large amount of data set. Next, it is the extraction of patterns and knowledge from large amount of data, not the extraction of data itself. So here we are, the data mining objective of this data mining techniques to be applied is
we are extracting the patterns and knowledge from the large amount of data. We are not extracting the data itself. We are extracting the important information or the important knowledge or the important patterns. Okay, maybe I can give an example of so when you are suppose as a manager, you are a supermarket manager and you want to know the patterns, who has purchased the tea powder along with the milk. So that is one pattern. So along with you, suppose one more example I can give, when you have purchased an laptop, along with that you have purchased an antivirus software. That's one pattern. So when you want to have when you want to extract or when you want to mine these such kind of patterns, then in that case we use this data mining techniques. So in industry, like even in IT industry or most of the like organization, they use this data mining techniques to find out the useful patterns, right? Even the recommendation system, even in Amazon or Flipkart, you can see that. So like when you are when you are going online and you are when you are purchasing anything, maybe laptop or antivirus software, it shows the plus symbol. So when you click on a laptop bag, along with that it shows some antivirus software or the which laptop to be purchased. All that recommendation will be given. So that is nothing but it is helping the customers or to the marketing managers to extract and giving the end output. Okay, that is very useful for the managers to make some decisions. The data mining usually consists of 4 main steps. Okay, first one is setting objectives, then second is data gathering and preparation, then applying data mining algorithms, then evaluating results. So setting objective is nothing but for a given any problem definition. So that's an objective, like because that whatever the problem that has been given, so that has to be solved. That is one objective has been given, and for that first we need to collect the data. Right, suppose we have an problem definition, one project has to be implemented based on agricultural sector, so that's my objective. So based on that agricultural sector, I need to gather the data, I need to collect the data. Rest, I need to download the data from some available website like Kaggle or maybe from some central government website, right? So once I collect the data, then I need to prepare that data for my algorithms. So before, like when you download the data and directly you can't apply some data mining algorithms because it will give you some inaccurate results. The data has to be pre-processed, the data has to be prepared, because whenever you download some data, it contains some erroneous result like some maybe noisiest values or some missing values, or it may contain some special symbols. So all that values has to be pre-processed, right? So that's why we need to prepare the data. So then once the data has been downloaded and once the data has been pre-processed, then we apply some data mining algorithms based on the task. Maybe you are performing a classification task or clustering task or maybe association mining task. So based on the task, you are selecting one of the appropriate algorithm and you are performing the data mining operation to extract some useful information out of the large database. Then finally you are evaluating the results. Maybe based on you have applied so many algorithms in the data mining, and then you are comparing which algorithm is giving me the best accurate results, so that can be evaluated. So these are the main 4 steps we follow in the data mining, where for a given problem definition, first we need to collect the data, then we need to pre-process the data, then we apply the data mining algorithms, then we evaluate the results. Then next, types of data mining. So in the types of data mining, these are the main tasks involved in the data mining. For example, so one first task we have, that is clustering. Clustering involves finding groups with similar characteristics. So clustering is nothing but group of similar objects. Suppose in a supermarket we have lakhs of transactions. In that you want to cluster like how many customers have purchased STC mobiles. So it will group all those mobiles who have purchased STC mobile. That is one cluster. And again you want to make one more cluster, that the customers who have purchased only the Apple mobile phones. So that is second cluster. So that is nothing but grouping of the similar objects can be done by using this data mining techniques. So for example, here we are applying some k-means algorithm, k-method algorithm. So there are different types of algorithms are available for clustering and to find out these similar characteristics or group of similar points. Then comes classification task. So what is classification? As the term indicates, that's to categorize based on previously learned model. So this is nothing but we are performing an classification task where the data is already we have, that's an supervised data already been given. So based on that we have applied some algorithms and we have trained, so that whenever we apply some algorithm, it is classifying the objects. Suppose you want to classify whether it is a cat or dog. Okay, so given two objects or given two images, so when I give some new two new images, it should classify whether this given image is cat or dog. So before that I need to train the machine, I need to train the model by applying some algorithms. Already I should have some data set, so that data set has to be trained. So that type of classification has been done. Suppose I want to classify whether it is a apple or whether it is a banana fruit, so even that can be classified. So this is nothing but classification is nothing but you are performing an classification type, and maybe based on binary category or multiple categories. Then comes association task. Association task is nothing but you are finding the frequent pattern items. So how many customers, or how many which customer has purchased which pattern, or which frequent pattern, or which association pattern. Suppose you want to identify the patterns which have some association items. So as I discussed, like when you purchase an milk, along with that you purchase an tea powder, or when you purchase an sugar, along with that you purchase an tea powder. When you for example, when you purchase an shoes, along with that you purchase an socks, right? So these are nothing but association items. So for that again we apply some algorithms, and we come up with some good results. Then next we have the data mining in industry. So what is data mining industry? How this data mining is useful in the industry? It helps companies to gather reliable information, because so in a data mining, suppose like whenever we have a company and it has a lot of information, or maybe in a form of GB or TB, right? So in that case, to get some reliable information, we use data mining techniques, because the data has to be pre-processed and I should get some quality data. Then comes data mining can be used by corporations for everything from learning about what customers are interested in, or what to buy, or even for fraud detection and spam filtering. So all that can be identified, like even for fraud detection. Suppose you want to identify whether it is a fraudulent transaction or whether it is a genuine transaction, and even for spam filtering, whether this content is like spam or whether it is a genuine one. All that can be classified or identified by using this data mining techniques. Even it helps businesses to make profitable production and operational adjustment, because as a manager you are getting some useful information day by day or monthly transaction. All that you are getting in a single page, the report about like which has some useful information, or which are the useful patterns. All that information you are getting, and that is been produced to manager. So in that case it can increase my revenue, it can cut my cost, it improves my customer relationship, it reduces risk, because as and when if I get an information well in advance, I can take an important decision, and even I can order these items well in advance, and which customers are preferring which items or which patterns. All that can be identified by using this data mining techniques. So what are the applications of data mining? Like when like in banking, okay, to identify some fraudulent activities. So in today's world, like there are many fraudulent activities are going on, maybe based on credit card, like some fraudulent activities are going on. Suppose to identify those fraudulent activities in a banking sector, we use the concepts of data mining. So as I discussed about supermarket, so even in supermarket, like mining customer data to determine buying habits and which products with which to target them. So all that can be identified even in supermarket, to identify the customer trend or customer behavior or customer buying habits. All that can be mined by using the data mining techniques. Even in retail industry, like we can collect the information about customer preferences, shopping patterns, purchasing habits. All this information can be mined by using data mining techniques. Even the recommendation system, like most of the websites you can see, Flipkart or Amazon, like Mantra website, all these websites, they have the recommendation system. So when you click on any one of the product, it will recommend you to purchase this item too, right, or this product too, right, because it is recommending when you are purchasing a laptop, then along with that it is recommending you to purchase a laptop bag along with that antivirus software, even the wireless mouse, wireless keyboard. So all that is recommendation system. Automatically it will be popping up to buy these products. It is recommending the customers to purchase these products, right? So then similarly we have healthcare. So even in the data mining techniques can be used in the healthcare to make some informed decision and to provide patients with the best possible care. So whatever the mind information or whatever for the best for the diseases, what best can be treatment can be given to the customer to the patient, that can be that is very helpful for when you are going with the data mining techniques in the healthcare. So even in agriculture industry, insurance sector, so even in overall in all the sectors, this data mining techniques can be used, and that can be benefited for the manager as well as to the customers. Then this is the data mining syllabus. So overall these are we have 5 units. So in the first unit I'll be covering the data mining introduction part, like what is the advantage of learning or why we are learning this data mining subject, and what is data pre-processing task. As I discussed, the data has to be pre-processed before we apply some algorithms, and the applications and the issues in data mining and some VECA software, that will be discussed in the first unit. And in the second unit we have classification task. So as I discussed here, the classification, we are categorizing the data into some 2 categories or 3 categories where we are applying some classification algorithms like rule-based classifier or nearest neighbor classifier. So all these algorithms will be studied in classification 1, and in unit 3 some advanced classification algorithms will be studied, like the Bayesian classifier, artificial neural network, support vector machine, and what are the different accuracy parameters are related to classification methods. That will be studied in classification 2, that is in unit 3. And coming to unit 4, we study about association analysis, what is the frequent item generation, like how to identify the frequent patterns, and which are the algorithms are available for finding out the frequent patterns. That will be studied in the unit 4. And in unit 5, as I discussed, what is an cluster? That's a group of similar data items. To perform this group of similar items, we need some methods. So that will be studied in unit 4. Like as I discussed, when you want to group, suppose I have 1,000 data points or 1,000 data objects, in that you want to group only the group of similar 1 rupee coins. So that can be clustered by using this cluster algorithms, right? So here we'll be studying about K-means algorithm, agglomerative hierarchical clustering, DB-scan algorithm, right? So all these different types of algorithm will be studied in the 5th unit. Yes. Okay. So overall, for this data mining, so we require a prerequisite of somewhat you need to have a knowledge of database management system, and even if you have somewhat knowledge about the algorithms, right? So that will be an added advantage to study this subject. Like even if you do not have the prerequisite of this subjects, even I'll cover the basic part of what is database management system and what is an algorithm, right? So basic part will be covered, then I'll start with the data mining, the introduction part, and then classification, then association analysis, cluster analysis. So this is what the overall the introductory part of data mining syllabus. Yes. Thank you everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Raghvendra Jadhav, professor from CS department, and this time I'm going to handle the subject named Principle of Cybersecurity with the course code as 21CS734. It is open elective subject with credits as LTP 300. So basically, I hope you are aware of cyber security. So probably when I say the cyber security, the first term which comes into your mind is hacker. So what exactly the role of hacker is? So probably when I say the hacker, the person who takes control of your system without your knowledge and trying to gain the as much as information as he can, okay, with the fraudulent way. So when I say hacker, there are a number of types of hackers. They are mentioned as white hat hackers, black hat hackers, and grey hat hackers. Okay, though there are many terminologies, they are being popular, but these are mainly three types of hackers which are categorized as these. So first is white hat hackers, where they are actually one of the authorized or certified hackers who work for the government or any organization by performing penetration testing. Penetration testing in the sense they try to identify the loopholes in the system in the sense a network. Obviously when I say any company or any college or any organization, obviously there is a network. Okay, so the white hat hackers are going to save or protect that specific network where they are working for. So they try to find or they ensure that there is a protection right from the malicious cyber crimes, and they work under the rules and regulations which are defined by the specific government by specific country. Okay, so when it comes to the black hat hackers, these are often called as crackers, and they gain actually unauthorized access to your system, and definitely they destroy the vital data. The method of attacking they use is common hacking practices, and they use certain tools and they try to hack your system. So whereas there is one more term called as a grey hat hackers, they are actually fall under the category like between white hat hackers and black hat hackers. They are not legally authorized hackers, but they work with both good and bad intention. If they have a bad intention, definitely they will be called as black hat hackers, and definitely if they have a good intention, they will be mentioned as white hat hackers. Okay, so need not to discuss more about this. So when it comes to the hacker, he is obviously I categorize as a black hat hackers. Okay, obviously they want to gain some money from you or something, so that's the reason they try to hack your system. So that is where we come into the picture, term called the ethical hackers, where they right from their side they try to protect right from the hackers or crackers. So when I say the white hat hackers, they are actually the ethical hackers. So this subject is all about the this subject is all about ethically maintaining the disciplines, okay, and practices to save the organization network. So when it comes to the subject, probably this subject includes the introduction part with respect to ethics which need to be followed by the ethical hacker, okay, and what are the procedures or standards that need to be followed in the ethical hacking, what is term called as a topology, how exactly the network is been arranged, okay, how it is been structured, and then different protocols they play their roles with respect to the security, and how exactly the network architecture formed. So that is all about the first unit, that is in the introduction part. And in the second unit, that concerned with the security foundations, where we are going to deal with the term called as a triad. Okay, so risk, policies, standards, and procedures. So there are certain policies and standards and policies that we follow while handling with the security things or certain softwares, and how exactly we follow certain stage or stages to protect the network. And in the third unit, we come up with the network security, where we are going to make use of certain tools like Nmap, Superscan, and then HPing, SNMP, and SMTP. Okay, these SNMP and SMTP are protocols, but whereas the initial are Nmap, Superscan, and all, we are going to make use of these softwares and going to try or find out who is there within the network. Okay, so there we are going to find out who are connected to your current organization through certain tools, and where we are going to find out, okay, how exactly different users are using the systems, because there will be a server and will be keeping all logs of the clients which are connected to the network. So totally we are going to scan the complete network, and we are going to find out who is there within which area. In the fourth unit, what we are going to deal is, it's actually the hacking. We are going to use certain tools to hack. For example, we are going to crack the Windows password, maybe Linux password. So there are certain softwares that we are going to make use of, and then we are going to study the same thing. And how we are going to hide the files. So maybe probably you might be knowing the steganography. Okay, so using the image and embedding certain information within the image and sending it to the destination. So the intermediate users or the hackers won't be able to find out what is there exactly within the information that you have sent. So there are a number of methods through which you can send the data without any hurdles. And finally, we have a covering tracks where we are going to find out, okay, whenever we are doing any kind of work, maybe ethical work or unethical work, we should cover what we have done. We should not intimate to the actual person what we have done. Okay, so you should be doing these all kind of things without anybody's knowledge. So that is what I can say as covering the tracks. Okay, so everything need to be hidden. Okay, whatever you have carried out, it should not be revealed anytime at any cost. And finally, we have a social engineering, where we are going to deal with physical social engineering, badge access. Okay, probably when we get into the college, we probably use the face recognition system, how it can be working, how it will be working, and how it can be hacked, and all kind of things will be covered here. So man traps, biometrics, phone calls, baiting, phishing attacks. So how phishing attack will be carried out, how it will be implemented, and how the other person will be get fooled by phishing attack. So these all things will be covered. Apart from these, there are many things, but just I kept here important things over here. So these are the things which are going to be covered here in the syllabus. So when it comes to the importance of the subject in terms of industry perspective, here the main importance of cybersecurity plays in each and every computer industry. Not only the computer industry, maybe you take a bank industry or any sector, financial sector, maybe stock market, maybe developer like retail industry, anywhere, obviously you require a cybersecurity. So there is a figure they have mentioned that the cybercrime magazine, cybercrime will cost the world $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. So this is their assumption. Furthermore, the global cybercrime costs are predictable to rise by almost 15% yearly over the next 4 years. So this is what the importance of the subject, where we need to consider the cyber security as the important aspects of everybody's in everybody's life. So that need to be considered very seriously. So that's all for now. So when it comes to the course outcome, you have CO1, CO2, like perform vulnerability and access analysis to identify the security loopholes in the target organization network. So here we are going to talking about certain tools. They are being used to hack certain things. So maybe you can say the ports, maybe services, and so other things. The second CO2 is understanding the mobile and desktop platform attack vector, Android vulnerabilities, mobile security guidelines and tools. So we are going to find out certain problems with the system. Maybe if the system is not been updated with the current patches, so there may be a number of vulnerabilities with the operating system that we are going to deal here and going to learn here. And finally, apply the learning inculcated throughout the course and develop the course project or present a course seminar. So finally, we are going to implement certain course project with respect to security using certain tools and certain methods. We are going to protect operating system maybe by certain loopholes. That is going to be stand with CO3. And when it comes to the scheme of CIE, obviously addition of 2 IAs of 25 marks each. Online quiz will be conducted for 20 marks. Okay, each of 5 marks. Addition of 2 OBAs will be 10 plus 10. And finally, we are going to deal with the course seminar. So that's actually the project that we are going to carry out by making use of certain tools. Okay, with respect to cybersecurity. That's all for now. Okay, so passing marks for SEE is 40 out of 100. Yeah, this is all about the cybersecurity. If you have any doubts, you can ping me at any moment. Okay, I'm from CS department, Raghavendra Jadhav. You can contact me anytime. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, students. I'm Professor Pratigna Ajwan from ANC department, and I'm here to present you an open elective which is Artificial Neural Network, floated by ANC department. So AL, you know, this is a buzzword now, AI, ML, and DL, all of the things, artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks. So one of the branch of artificial intelligence is artificial neural network. So in this subject, we'll be looking exclusively at the concepts which are included in neural networks, which will be applied to the application with respect to the machine learning concepts. Now consider this example for you to brief about what is an ANN, or what the subject would cater to, or what applications we would consider for teaching this subject. So if we have to classify this particular image as a dog or a cat, we require to model and we require a model to classify this particular image into two classes, namely a cat and a dog. So how do we do that with the help of neural network is what we are going to learn in this subject in precise. So a neural network looks like this, what I've displayed in the image. You will be having the neurons connected to each other, and you'll be training it with the data, and you'll be getting certain results based on the data and the training algorithm that you're going to use. So what different training algorithms we are going to use to get the end result is also very important, and such algorithms we will be discussing in this particular subject. The next slide talks about the base concept of a neural network. We have nucleus and the biological connections of nucleus like dendrites, axon and axon terminals. Similar to it, a neuron in ANN is anticipated, and the inputs come from the input terminal, and then you have the functionality being written or being coded, or you say you have a model that you train according to the algorithm that you wish to, and you'll be getting the end result which you want to acquire. So the end result absolutely might vary in accuracy. It depends upon the algorithm as well as the data set. This is the base of the ANN, which it stands for artificial neural networks, right? The terminology comes from the concept of this biological neural network applied to in the real life as part of the neuron in ANN concept. Going ahead with the actual depiction of neural network, this is how it looks. So you have an input layer. These dots are called as the neurons. You will have different layers in between the input and the output layer, which form the hidden layer. These hidden layers are the strength of the neural network. It depends upon the application, how many hidden layers you would like to have to get a precise output. So your artificial neural network might be bulkier, it might be smaller. So all those variations also will be studied, and how the optimization of a neural network can be done along with its performance. So few of the applications here are handwriting recognition, traveling salesman problem could be addressed, image compression could be done using neural networks. You also can predict certain stock exchanges that could be taken as a case study. Others are the web search that also happens through neural network. The recent one which has come into picture, the speech recognition, also happens through neural network. Object recognition, translation system, and self-driving cars, all of these form the advanced applications of the neural networks. Going ahead with the salary aspect, or say the financials, if you are a well-trained data scientist, you would be having an average salary of rupees $708,000 rupees. So for this is in a nutshell what ANN talks about as a subject. Coming to the syllabus aspect, we would cover the basics of ANN with respect to the biological network in Unit 1. Going ahead with the different algorithms, we'll be covering it into Unit 2 and Unit 3, the back propagation algorithms, the feedback neural network, and the other things. Unit 4 will talk about much more advanced algorithms, and in Unit 5 we have the concept of convolution neural network, which is another advanced topic, and the application related to the convolution neural network. So this is a nutshell about artificial neural networks. If you have any queries, feel free to ask. The prerequisites are you need to have basics of maths to address this subject, because there is a little of mathematical aspect with respect to algorithm understanding, implementation. A little of linear algebra also would be required. So fundamentals of mathematics is a must, and it will be great if you know that. Even if you do not have those concepts, for example, if there is students who wish to opt from different branches, non-computer science students, it's a good subject for you to start with machine learning. We will be taking examples with respect to your branch, and let's look forward how to apply ANN to those branch specific problems. So other branch students and the CS branch, the computer science or the software branch students also can opt this subject and enjoy this further. So wishing you a happy learning. I would like to take a leave. If there are any doubts, let me know. Thank you.
Side.
ಹೌದು ಲೈವ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ನಾವು ಜಾಮೀನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವು ಮತ್ತು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಲೈವ್ನು ಐತಿ ಶೋನು ಹಾಕಿ
ऑडियो ऑन है स्टैंड में फिटिंग नहीं Hello students, this is Professor Ashish Gadge from the Department of ENC. So I'll be briefing you about the subject Fundamentals of Robotics offered by the Department of ENC. So before the providing you the overview, the subject here deals with the robotics, and it is applicable or helpful for students of all the branches. If going by the name, everybody might feel it is helpful only for mechanical and IP, but that is not the case. The subject is helpful and as well as applicable to even computer science and information science students, wherein you will be learning about machine vision also. So that is why it will be helpful for students of all divisions or all branches. And just to help you in any other briefings also, it will be helpful for you from placement point of view also, and it will be helpful after you go in and join some companies also. It will because this concept is required in all the other places also, because there is a prediction that robotics is, as per the Make in India movement, there is a probability that there is a 20% increase in robotics in the next 5 years. So it will be helpful for you from that point of view. So having said that, let us proceed with the subject as such, fundamentals of robotics. So I'll be just providing you the overview. So we'll be seeing what is robotics, the technology and the types of robots. So basically, what is a robot? It's a reprogrammable, multifunctional, automatic industrial machine designed to replace humans in hazardous work. So it can be used as an automatic machine sweeper, automatic car for the child to play with. And you can see a machine removing mines in the warfield. It is also used in space as well as in military. Then to deal with the word robotics. So robotics is the science of designing or building an application of robots. And robotics may be defined as the study of robots, and aim of robotics is to build an efficient robot. So it is the word robot is derived from the Czech word robota, which means drudgery or compulsory labor. So what does robotics need? So robotics is needed because it helps in speed. Firstly, it can work in hazardous as well as dangerous and temperature. Then it can do multiple repetitive tasks without any doubts or problems, and it can work with efficiency as well as accuracy. So just as a robotics history, firstly we will see what is the word of use of robotics. Then 3 laws were proposed for robotics, and the first robot, which is ultimate, or called ultimate. So the first word was introduced by the Czech writer Karel Čapek, and later the word robotics was described accidentally by American scientist Isaac Asimov. So he has proposed 3 laws of robotics also, and now zeroth law has been added to it. So this is the first robot ultimate which was developed.
And the robotics technology here, majority of the industrial robots have these 5 parts essentially: sensors, effectors, actuators, controllers, and arms. So as part of the syllabus, you will be learning about all of these in separate units. So first unit deals with basically more about the robotics in general, how it is used, and second unit deals with sensors, then actuators, then the controllers, and finally you will be learning about the part of robotics which will be in troubleshooting and maintenance. So you will learn from how to build a robot to how to test the robot also. So this is the part which is sensing. So the sensors you can see in the arm here, and then there is a effector which will produce the particular effect. Then you have the controller which is dealing with the chip and the arm. So controller will be the part wherein the computer science people will be coming into picture. Then when we talk about robots, we automatically talk about automation. So automation is nothing but machinery which is designed to carry out a specific task. So it could be bottling of machine, which you can see here. It could be just a dishwasher or a paint sprayer also. Now robots are nothing but machinery is designed to carry out variety of tasks. So this could be just pick and place arms, which you have already seen in films. Those could be mobile robots, and it could be computer numerically controlled machines also. Robots are generally used for the 3 D jobs here. D being your dangerous, dull, and dirty, which are not done by human beings in measure. So ideal tasks for robots are, in case of dangerous, it could be space exploration, which they are using chemical spill cleanup, and disarming bombs, as well as disaster cleanup. Along with that, it is used for boring and repetitive tasks like welding car frames, part pick and place, as well as manufacturing parts. Then it is used for high precision and high speed, which could be in electronics testing. Then it is also used in surgery, where they are called robots, and it is used for again precision machining also. There are different types of robots which are present. So they are categorized into different categories. So mobile robots, stationary, autonomous robots, remote control robots, as well as virtual robots. So fundamental components of autonomous robots are: it has a brain, that means it can carry out tasks independent of human operation. The body, which includes the physical chassis that holds other pieces. Then actuators, which allow the robot to move. So these are typically motors, hydraulic pistons. Then there are sensors due to which robot is operational. Then power source, and finally it communicates. So communication. Mobile robots are basically of 2 types. There are rolling robots and walking robots. So rolling robots have wheels to move around, and they can move, do this job quickly, and provide search and rescue operations. But they are useful only in flat areas. So walking robots are used when the terrain is rocky, and most of the robots have 4 legs. Majorly they have 6, but typically at least they have 4. Then you have stationary robots. So robots are not just used to explore areas or imitate a human being. These robots are used for repetitive particular task without even moving at all. So they are robots which are used in working in industry settings. Then there are again autonomous robots. So they are self-supporting. You can other words you can say they are self-contained. So in a way you can say they rely on their own brains. And there are remote control robots also. So they can guide a robot by. So a person can guide a robot by remote control and can perform various difficult tasks. Then there are virtual robots. That means actually these robots don't exist in real life. Virtual robots are just programs which are building blocks of software inside a computer. So here is where your computer science students also can come into picture. Then these are just sensors of human which are mentioned: ears, eyes, nose. So for a robot it is again different. So there are various types of sensors which are involved in it. Where there are passive sensors, touch, temperature, balance. Then there could be active sensors also, wherein light, distance, rotation, sonar, radar, lidar come into picture. Then these are some of the sensors of mobile robots, which are, you have contact-like sensors. Then you have internal sensors, wherein your accelerometers, gyroscopes, compass come into picture. Then there are proximity sensors, wherein sonar, radar, lidar, then infrared, all comes into picture in this category. Then there are visual sensors like cameras, and you also have satellite-based sensors, wherein GPS comes into picture. Then the kinematics and dynamics is the part wherein due to which movement of a robot occurs. So these can be from simple joints to compound joints. The mobility is due to either through wheels or multipedal, wherein they are multi-legged. Basically the robots are grouped into various coordinate systems. So depending on that, the robot is either classified to Cartesian coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate robot. Then you have a polar robot or with cylindrical coordinate system. Then you have polar coordinate system. So the robots are called polar coordinate system, polar coordinate robot, which move along with the rotary base and have an extension for that. Along with that, there are special types of robots also. These are typically used in spot welding, felting machine, gas welding, arc welding. There are jointed arm robots also, which resemble a human arm. So they are able to move in multi-axial rotation. Again, they can do fitting of machines, gas welding, arc welding, spray printing. And then there are special type of robots, as I was telling you, SCARA, which are selectively compliant articulated robot arm. So this mimic exactly the human arm and carry out motion along the base as well as along the wrist. So in case of a robot, when you talk about always you talk about wrist, roll, pitch and yaw. So what are these actually? You will be learning it once you are in the process of syllabus. So these are typically used for click and place, then application of a sealant, and then again assembly operations and handling of machine tools. So the various advantages why you need to go in for robotics is you can go away from to far planet. You can go far down into unknown waters and mines where humans would actually be crushed. Then they give us information that humans can't get. And then you can work at a place 24/7 without again salary or food, and they don't get bored. So we humans tend to have a problem that we suffer from boredom. So accuracy might decrease over time. That is not, however, the case in case of robots. Then they can perform a task faster than humans, and that too consistently and accurately. Most of them are automatic, so they can go along themselves without any human intervention. Similarly, there are disadvantages also, that is people can lose their jobs, which is not the case right now. Then they need supply of power, it needs maintenance to keep it running, and it costs money to make or buy the robot also. As part of this syllabus, you will be working on not just getting theoretical knowledge, you will be getting practical knowledge also. So you will be building a robot or carrying out course project. So as part of that activity, you will be doing building a practical robot, and you will be also having a industrial visit which have been identified. So college is in bit tie up with them, so you will be visiting those also. So these are some of the top companies which are working in robotics: ABB, Denso, KUKA, Fanuc. So ABB is the top company in that. Fanuc is also a Japanese company which is popular. Similarly, Yaskawa Electric, Omron, and Universal Robots, Epson, which you have popularly might be known for printers or projectors, are leaders in robotics. Then Kawasaki, as well as with Mitsubishi Electric. So these are the major companies which are working in robotics, not just limited to top 10. So we can see a lot of companies are working in robotics. So if you have any doubts, you can reach out to me anytime. If you need any more information also, you can reach out to me. So this is going to be a fun course. Hope to see you at the course. Thank you.
So good afternoon students, this is Professor Nitin Deshpande from Civil Engineering Department, and I am going to handle the open elective 3, that is Environmental Protection and Management, which is having a code of 21CV731 with 300. The main there are 5 units which are going to be covered, and we require a prerequisite of environmental studies where you are already gone through the laws like Water Act law, Air Act law, etc. in environmental studies. So here you are going to see what are the tools that are being used and how to manage it. So the first unit entirely depends on the standards that are being taken in case of environment, which includes unique characteristics of environmental problems, the classification of it, the impacts, the efforts, and some of the tools that are being used, the policies of environmental acts that are being considered like Water Act, again Air Act, etc. Are covered in unit number 1. And in unit number 2 we are going to see what are the objectives and how the evaluation is done, and how the standards are maintained, and what may be the barriers. So it basically includes the quality of objectives that we are going to take, the mass standards, the effluent standards that are linked with water and water standards as per Bureau of Indian Standards, then the effluent standards as per CPCB. Then we are going to see the performance of it, which are the equipments that are used and how the efficiency is, and we are going to see the pollution control versus pollution prevention, and also here a new case study that is been taken into consideration in and around Belagavi, that is Hindalco industry, which talks about zero discharge technology. So that has been considered in this environmental protection and management. Then we have the third unit which talks about environmental management systems, where you are going to study the ISOs of 14,000 as per environmental management systems, its benefits, advantages, disadvantages, and how this policy is governing legally in case of Water, Air, and Land Act. And also we are going to see the documentation part of it, how you are going to document if anything comes into account for this environmental management system. Then the next one, if you know environmental management system, then we are going to go with environmental audit, which talks as per ISO 19011. For example, if you take environmental engineering law, we should know which are the chemicals that are being utilized here, maybe chemistry lab also, and we should know how to safeguard ourselves with those chemicals when we are going to use it for analysis. So that are being covered in this environmental audit. It talks about roles, the qualification of the auditors, the indicators that are being provided, the indications to which, and also how a particular the audit is being done with minimum plan that comes into picture, and also the corrective measures that are being provided. And lastly we are going with the last unit. It is on application. This application is based with environmental management system with different type of industries that are going to be taken into consideration. It is textile, sugar, paper and pulp, electro plating industry, and tanner industry. And the new thing that has been incorporated here is regarding solid waste. There is a hazardous waste. We are going to talk about this hazardous waste with its classification, treatment and disposal, which comes a part of EMS law that has been taken into consideration. And following are the textbooks that we are going to refer along with the code books: ISO 1400, ISO 1401 4, and also ISO 19011 2002. And then we here after learning this subject, you are going to understand what are the elements that are present in environmental management system, how to compile this, and the second that you are going to understand is the assessing team and how they are going to provide you some options related to the waste that is going to minimize, and the third thing is how you are going to audit it. So these are the three outcomes that you are going to go with. So hope so. If any clarification is required regarding the syllabus related to environmental protection management, that is 22 CV 7 31, you need to come down to civil department and you can talk to me. Thank you.
Dear students, very good afternoon. Myself Somnath Koth. I am the course coordinator for this open elective which is offered from the Department of Civil Engineering. The course name is Intelligent Transport System, and which is 3 hours per week and having 3 credits. We have defined some of the course learning objectives, but in brief, before starting with the actual syllabus, the brief explanation about the syllabus, I just want to build a narration why this subject has to be what you say that an attraction to the circuit branch students or non-civil engineering students. As you all know that transportation engineering is a stream of civil engineering, and the application of artificial intelligence and machine learning has a variety of applications in various engineering streams. So when we talk about the transportation engineering streams, it is also one of the what you say that a core engineering stream where it is directly interacting with lives of the people. So the more and more you make it intelligent, the more and more the number of accidents, the more and more optimization of the transportation systems can be attained. In virtue of this, the particular syllabus has been developed. So we are going to give you what is actually the foundation, that means the basics of the intelligent transportation system, and how this AI and ML are integrating the data or the processes which are going to be happening back end, and it will be simplifying the lives of the people. The simple example what I can give you about the ITS is the Google Maps or any other forms of the maps which you are using in your cell phones to access some remote locations. It is all about the intelligent transport system. It is a one application I am telling you. Few more examples I can give you. That is a satellite based toll collection system, that is also a part of intelligent transport system, which is likely to come in India, which is already practiced abroad. So there are 5 modules coming on to the syllabus. The first module talks about the introduction, the ITS overview. ITS stands for Intelligent Transport System. What are the challenges, the benefits, and next we are going to system engineering. Obviously we have to build an engineering system with the proper objectives and the concepts of system engineering process, and then benefits and overview of the system engineering process. What is the architecture, basic things we are going to discuss about this. And next we will be moving on to the unit 2 and applications of ITS, especially in the transportation systems management and operations. Management and operations in the sense, simple example is the metro stations are being monitored by sitting in a remote place, and then everything will be sensor based, everything will be done on the route selection, everything, the capacity, the optimization of the routes, the effective utilization of the rails which are running on those particular metro lines, everything is a part of this ITS. In that transportation management centers, the centers will be there, what is the roles, how the communications will happen, how the supporting will happen, what are the features of that transportation management centers. Active traffic management, how it will be done, how the travelers information is gathered, how the traffic indent management is done, what are the safety protocols we need to follow, what are the information and guidelines these systems are going to give it to the users. Everything will be taught in a brief manner in the module 2. In the third module we are going to talk about the decision making and the purpose and objective, the ITS. So here the data sources, the types, ITS support travelers, real-time travel management, mobility, transportation network companies, car sharing, bike sharing, alternate transit systems, services, parking information, driver assistance systems. All these things will be discussed in module 3. In the module 4, it is about the commercial, the baggages which are being moved without any manual intervention. Say for example, what are its purpose, the objectives, first and last mile pickup. For example, whenever you go to some airport for a foreign trip and all those things, you are not going to carry 20 to 30 kg of the luggage in your sitting area. You have to dump it somewhere and then you have to get on the plane. So how that particular flight, wherever you are going to put it, it will be transited, how they are going to monitor. All these things, examples will be thought or discussed in the fourth one. And the next one is the public transport. So obviously one of the major, what you say that application of this ITS comes to the public transport systems. What are the objectives, purpose, fleet operation, electronic toll collection system, electronic payment system, pricing, how the pricing will be done, how the purposes will be attained and objectives are set, and then the value of electronic toll collection system, electronic parking fee collection, off-street parking, on-street parking, pricing strategies. So it's a very vast topic if you want to go thoroughly into this particular ideas, but just as a matter of interest and as a matter of what you say that future perspective in the transportation, all these concepts are going to help all the streams of the engineering, and which is likely to reflect in our day-to-day life. We have planned some of the flip classrooms from each module, which will be learned by the students, and the deliberations will be happening in the regular classes. We have put some reference textbooks, and then some of the NPTEL relevant courses. You can see the videos which are available in open source, and the CIE and course outcomes all remains same as of the course subject. Any clarification is required before you select and or finalize this particular course, you can feel free to contact me. You can reach out to me in the civil department. I will be available, and my email and number is also available in the website. Thank you.
ಅದು ಮುಂಜಾನೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಓಪನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಲಿಂಕ್
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕೇನು?
ಅಲ್ಲೇನು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತ್ತದ.
ಈಗ ಬಂದಾಗಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಬಂದಾಗಿಲ್ಲ,
ಆನೇ ಇರ್ತದ್ರಿ ಅದು. ಇದ್ರಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದು ನೋಡ್ರಿ?
ಓಪನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್.
ಇದ್ರಾಗ ಸರ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಯಾರ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದು.
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತಡ್ರಿ ತಡ್ರಿ. ಸರ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಎರಡವಲ್ಲ, ಓಪನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಬೇರೆ ಅದ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಬೇರೆ ಅದ.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Anupama Kallod. I am going to give the introduction of operations research. This is an open elective offered by Mechanical Engineering Department. The course code is 21ME 7312 and 300. That is 3 hours and no tutorials and no practicals for this. Total 40 hours class. So here course learning objectives you can go through here. Syllabus is it is mentioned in the syllabus. So in this subject we are going to learn about the optimization. Every industry is striving for improving the productivity of the organization. When we talk about the productivity of the organization, we are supposed to use the available resources in a most efficient and effective manner so that we can get good number of good quality output. So to do that, we'll have to follow or we'll have to use some tools and techniques so that we can make improvement in the productivity. So for that purpose we are using different tools, models which we are going to study in the operations research. So first unit you are going to learn about introduction to operations research, definition, scope, steps or phases, characteristics and limitations, and in that only you are going to study about the simplex method or standard form LP problems, and you are going to learn about what is slack, what is surplus variables, what are artificial variables, and various methods of solving the problem wherein the constraints are given. So you will have to maximize the profit or minimize the loss. That is the punchline of operations research. That is, you either you maximize the profit or minimize the loss. So then second unit you are going to learn about transportation and assignment methods. These are also techniques, or you can call tools, which we are using to optimize the solution. Right? In that transportation problem, formulation of the problem, first you are going to learn about what is the problem, how to formulate it, and you are going to get the initial basic feasible solution, and then you are going to optimize it by using various methods. In that, one is MODI method, modified distribution method, and application of transportation problem. That also you are going to learn here. And assignment problem wherein in the industry we are supposed to assign the jobs or the work to the various machines or to the people, those who are working in the organization, so to maximize the profit. Okay, so to minimize the time, resources usage, or minimize the distance traveled, anything it could be. In that you are going to learn traveling salesman problem also. Then comes the third one, the game theory or queuing model. This is the application wise, these two the topics or the concepts are very, very important. In game theory you are going to learn about again the formulation of games, type of solutions of the games. In that, one of them is saddle point solution, or graphical method is also there, or mixed strategy you will have to use to get the optimum solution for the problem, and you can use the dominance rule for solving mixed strategy problems. And then comes queuing theory. Queuing theory, in that again, what is the concept of queuing systems, what are the characteristics, and how you are going to prepare the model, how you are going to develop the model, and how you are going to get the solution for that, so that the performance can be enhanced. At the same time, again you can analyze the performance. And then comes the next topic, or the next unit you can say, sequencing models. Again, so many jobs will be there and so many machines will be there in the organization or in the company or in the industry. So we are supposed to assign n jobs on m machines, or 2 jobs on m machines, or 2 jobs on 3 machines, something like that, the combination, depending on the availability of the resources or the machineries, or availability of the labor. Okay, so this is very, very important to or it will give the solution, or this is the tool which we are using to optimize the allocation of various x factor with a y factor, or machines and or the combination of machines and the labor, or machines and job, or labor or job. Then the next one is network technique, or the CPM part. So it is related to the project management, wherein you are learning what is project management, or what is project. First of all, what is project, and these two are the very, very important techniques to find out the total time required to complete the project. Okay, various different methods are there. In that, one is CPM, that is critical path method. The another one is PERT. Okay, program evaluation and review technique. So these, whenever we have the deterministic time values, then we are going for CPM. When we have the deterministic time values are not there, then we are going for PERT. Okay, where we are going to find out the probability of completing the project, or how many days are required to complete the project, or if we are going to add the percentage of completion of the project. Okay, with the given constraints, that we are going to learn in network technique, or unit 5. As already you know, flipped classes will be conducted for this. Then the reference books as well as textbooks are given in the syllabus. You can go through that. PK Gupta or Hira and Gupta is the very good book which you can refer. Even SD Sharma also is there. Taha and other reference books are mentioned here, and NPTEL courses you are supposed to go through. 2 are there, you can refer or you can go through, and the content delivery and assessment methods are given here, and these are the course outcomes. That also formulate the problem, solve the problem, and then optimize the problem or determine the optimal solution, and then find out the network, draw the network, and find out the total time required to complete the project. So that is the these are the course outcomes, and then the scheme as mentioned here, 25 plus 25, that is internal assessments, online quiz will be there, and project or open book assignment will be there, then course seminar, and then total marks are 100. So this is COPO mapping is there, and these are the skill competence enhanced after undergoing the course. So this is very, very important. So students will be able to develop the technical, analytical and managerial skills by studying all these tools, which they can use for managerial purpose, also for operational purpose, also in any industry, not necessarily mechanical industry. You can apply it in software industries or any other service industries also. So that is very, very important. So you can go through that. So this is about the overall introduction of operations research offered by Mechanical Engineering Department. Thank you.
Good afternoon everybody. Myself Professor Pradnya Kulkarni from Mechanical Department. I will be just giving the brief introduction about the subject supply chain management. The course code of the subject is 21ME 7313. It is an open elective which can be offered to any branches except mechanical. So the basic concept or prerequisite for this subject is basics of management. And before we start with the unit, let me just tell you why supply chain, or why we should study or why we should know supply chain, and then I will tell you what is supply chain, and then we'll start with all the units. Why it is necessary to study a supply chain, or what is the concept of supply chain. Basically, in any firm, organization or in any industry, the main objective is to reduce the cost and have the optimum cost and have higher productivity. In order to do that, there are some drivers for every organization or for any sector. That is, for example, your transportation, sourcing, pricing, then for example your efficiency, etc. The moment you just say that, you have to see to it that all these constraints are fit in one zone where you get the product of the higher quality, of better quality and better durability with optimum cost. So to know this, we require the concept of supply chain. Supply chain is nothing but a continuous improvement process for any product in any stream. So basically supply chain deals with all the things of the activities, right from the raw material till the end of the product reaches the customer. It is not only producing the end product, but till it reaches the customer, it is the supply chain which has the entire concept. So the supply chain includes with respect to your designing, production, sourcing, warehousing, inventory, shipping, transportation, etc. To do all these things in one stretch and in one process, it is termed as supply chain. And when we go on increasing this process, it is termed as supply chain surplus. So what do you mean by supply chain? How do we build the network? What are the inventory materials? What are the pricing concepts? And what are the logistical approaches? We will study it in the unit wise. So the unit 1 deals with the basic introduction of supply chain, that is building a strategy framework to analyze supply chain process. That is, what do you mean by supply chain? What are the different stages of the supply chain? What are the process of the supply chain, with few examples. And then the next part of this is how the competitive and supply chain strategy should fit in a zone, which is known as a zone fit, where you just apply the concept of all the basics of supply chain and see to it that you produce a good quality and better quality of the product, so that it reaches the customer till the end and with optimum cost. And then we also also discuss the concept of how we can achieve this strategic fit. So every now and then when there are varieties of products available into the world, okay, we always have to have a x plus 1 strategy, so that if x fails, x plus 1 is ready as a strategy for it. So what are the various strategy and how we can framework these strategies into a complete process and see to it that we achieve the surplus or productivity in the organization. The second unit deals with drivers of supply chain performance and the design distribution network in the supply chain. The first main, that is drivers of supply chain. These are the key roles or key features or key element in the supply chain. Those are nothing but your inventory, transportation, facility, information, pricing and sourcing. Then when any organization firms or when organization constructs these all things, there are some obstacles which will be there. So what are the obstacles which are the barriers of this entire supply chain drivers, we will study in this second unit. And along with this, the case study, the real time application. In practical, complete 100% supply chain cannot be, you can say, applied in any organization. It is hardly 50 to 60%, but in that 50 to 60%, how best we can increase the productivity and how best we can increase the production and retaining the optimum cost is the entire thing which we need to discuss. And then next one is the designing of the distribution network, how we design. So there are two destinations, we have to reach from A to B. So there are 3-4 ways in which we can reach the destination. Which path or which design network we will choose, so that we get the least cost and better quality and reaches on time. So like in that sense, there are various distribution network and various factors which influence these distribution network. That is, for example, response of the customer, then the time required, time efficiency, then order availability, order flexibility. Now since the online shopping has come, it becomes more quick enough to do the things. So how we design the network in the frame of the online and offline processes, so that it reaches the customer, along with the case study options for this design distribution network. We all discussed this in the second unit. Coming to this third unit, we have two sub units in this, that is planning and managing inventories in supply chain. Then second part is about the transportation. First, the inventory itself is a huge store where there are many things which we can discuss. For example, if I just take the concept of Amazon, okay, it is a huge ocean type of an organization or a firm where it delivers right from groceries etc till the software sectors. Wherever you go in this, Amazon works in the field of entire organization or in the entire globe. So what are the roles of that, how we need to make the inventory storage warehouses, so that we get quick as and when the demand is there, the supply of that demand should also match to the customer level. Otherwise there are many other cadres and many other products availability where we can just choose and swip to the next one. So in this type of environment, we need to have an inventory storage for every production, and how these are taken into the consideration is all about your inventory management, and few numericals related to this that is inventory management will be there in this unit. Next part is about the transportation, which is the second most important driver in the supply chain process. That is overall when the supply chain has the highest transportation, the cost of that increases. How best we can choose the mode of the transportation based on the transportation decision and based on the transportation network which we choose. So all these things categorized into transportation we are studying in this unit 3. The fourth unit deals with the sourcing and pricing. The first part is sourcing and pricing products. What are the role of the sourcing, suppliers and assessment? How do we select? That is based on the contract, based on the mutual adjustment, based on your entire this organization decides to go either for your selection on the based of the contract, negotiable or with the lease product. And then the second part is about pricing and revenue management. any product in the organization or any productivity in the organization deals with some revenue concept in terms of that. How best we can make all the utilization with respect to multiple customer segment, with respect to perishable assets, with respect to seasonal demand, etc. about the product. This is all about which we will be discussing in the fourth unit. Fifth unit deals with the information technology in supply chain and coordination technology in supply chain. The role of IT in supply chain, how best we can frame the framework of this IT in the process of supply chain. And there are many recent softwares in the every organization which is just planned according to the supply chain processes of their flow, and based on that the entire process runs. But actual it will not go in that flow. In order to reduce that, we frame the network in such a way that it reduces the bandwidth of that. So the concept of supply, the customer relationship management, internal supplier management, then etc. all these along with the case study of the IT sector role we study in fifth unit, first part. Second part is about coordination and technology in supply chain. Coordination of the supply chain with respect to bullwhip effect, obstacles to the coordination for that, what are the managerial levers to coordination for that, and how best we can build the strategy for with respect to the partnership, so that it will be a win-win situation for any organization when they sign a tender or a contract with the front organization. So this is all about the overall view along with the case study of the supply chain. We will also be having fifth classes for this, and the books which we can refer for this is Sunil Chopra, which covers 95% of our syllabus. Sorry, which covers the 95% of our syllabus. We can refer second, third, and recent is fifth edition of this Sunil Chopra by supply chain and management. We can also, these are the course learning outcomes whatever are there, like for example explain the importance of achieving the strategic fit across the supply chain process. Then this is the scheme of your evaluation, that is 25 plus 25 IA. Then you have online quiz, additional OBA, and then course seminar. Total will be evaluated for 100 marks. So these are your COPO mapping. And the skill and competency enhancement is problem solving skills, then your strategy skills, etc. Main basically supply chain, when we if we go through with this course, we can go irrespective of any branch, we can go for higher studies in supply chain in abroad. For that more amount of demands are there, and entirely so many alumni of our colleges have gone through supply chain management for their higher studies abroad for the subject. Thank you.
Professional elective being offered by the Electronics and Communication Engineering Department is Professional Elective 2 or Professional Elective 3. Subject is Digital Forensics. Subject code is 21EC764. It is offered in the 7th semester. Faculty handling is Dr. Manjunath Madguli. Outline of the presentation. Let us go through the introduction, prerequisites, skills and competence enhanced after undergoing this subject, applicable industry sectors and domains, industries offering job opportunities, job role in the market for students taking up this subject. Introduction. Digital forensics is all about study of multiple factors related to security aspect. So it includes computer forensics, mobile device forensics, multimedia forensics, email forensics, web forensics, proactive forensics, cloud forensics, live forensics, database forensics, and network forensics. It is also considered as an extended part of cybersecurity. It involves multiple domains where in which you do multiple investigations of forensics. Prerequisites for taking up this course is architecture of computers. Just students have to know the basic architecture of computers. How does basic input or input output system takes place in the computers? Then the knowledge of operating systems, secondary memory disk and its organization, and file systems. So fundamentally, a basic understanding of computers, internet, how the computer architecture works is more than enough to take up this course. Skills and competence enhanced after undergoing the subject are: students will get technical skills and communication skills, and most importantly, digital forensics. After undergoing this course, students will get an investigator's mindset point of view. So, how to investigate cybercrime, how to investigate cyber frauds. So, with vast variety of forensics tools and theoretical explanations, students will get an investigator's mindset, followed by self-motivation and desire to learn. So, students can take up this subject as their core area, and they can excel in this field and explore in this field. Therein by they can get a job opportunities in the said field. Applicable industry sector domains are government industry, banking, financial services, and insurances, that is BFSI, telecom and IT, retail industry, healthcare, and others. In all these domains in sectors, digital forensics will play a vital role. Industries offering job opportunities. So a lot of cybersecurity companies and forensic companies offer jobs in the field. So global digital forensics market will be raised, generate a revenue of US dollar 13.49 billion by 2027. So component digital forensics market has been covered from three viewpoints. One is software, and second one is hardware, and third one is services. Then companies covered are Perklin Emler and FireEye and MSAB and Magnet Forensics. So end user digital forensics market has been covered from six viewpoints, that is BFSI, healthcare and life sciences, government and law enforcement, defense and aerospace, IT and telecom industries, and others. So there is a wide opportunity by taking up this course, and job role in the market for students taking up this subject are digital forensics analyst. The role which demands is perform basic forensic investigations and e-discovery, prerequisite request using forensics tools, identify vulnerabilities. Basically, vulnerabilities means weaknesses in security systems. Then the background, bachelor's degree in computer science, IT, or systems or engineering, continuous training, certifications, postgraduate degrees recommended. Skills, in-depth knowledge of the security threats that affect different sectors, knowledge of the fundamentals of computer forensics. You can see the salary package varied for junior level, average employee, and seniors. So this is a very good course for a fresher to take up. So yeah, thank you.
Hello students, this is Santosh Kulkarni from Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. So this time Department of E&C is offering an open elective named Computational Intelligence, subject code, and this is the semester. And the outline of this presentation will be firstly introduction, then the prerequisites, then we'll see the skills and competencies, applicable industry sectors, industries offering job opportunities, job roles in the market. So just a quick bird's eye view of the syllabus. We'll start with introduction to CI, then ANN, some fundamentals, and then applications. Then we go to fuzzy and set theory, associative memory, okay, and then finally applications of neurofuzzy. So computational intelligence is basically the ability of the computer to learn, maybe by observation or by programming. So artificial neural networks and the other fuzzy theory and all these parts are, all these topics are part of computational intelligence. So computational intelligence basically is a branch of artificial intelligence, and here this course will give you a bird's eye view, and it will give you the fundamental knowledge of computational intelligence. So the prerequisites for this course are mathematical fundamentals, of set theory and linear algebra. Skills and competencies that you can develop after undergoing this course will be develop a comprehensive understanding of computational intelligence, fuzzy logic, and neural networks. Then explore and analyze various neural network architectures and their applications, and acquire in-depth knowledge of the fundamental principles, concepts, and operations of fuzzy logic. So here we'll not be going for design level concepts of computational intelligence. You will be getting the fundamental knowledge of computational intelligence, which will be helpful to you to develop the further skill sets. So applicable industries, yes, basically as I mentioned earlier, artificial intelligence is the umbrella under which computational intelligence falls, and currently healthcare, transportation, e-commerce, real estate, travel, and banking, these are the main sectors where AI and CI are used. Industries, I have just listed a few here, but almost all the solution providing industries in the domain that we had listed earlier, okay, they use computational intelligence. The job roles, you'll be inducted as machine learning engineers, data scientists, data engineers, software engineers, product managers, and architects. Because this can be applied to all the fields, so you will find application of computational intelligence in all the branches of engineering. So this was my presentation. Thank you very much.